Welcome to the Commissioner's Report. I'm your host, Tricia Pichette, and joining me today are Board Chairman, Mr. Todd Dantzler.
Thank you.
And Miss Florida 2017, Sara Zeng. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Now, the Miss Florida Scholarship Pageant, you were a driving force at getting that back into Polk County. It's been back.
Yes.
It's been back for 2 years now. What
Yes.
are some of the tangible benefits we've already seen?
Some of the tangible benefits that we've already experienced are selling an awful lot of hotel rooms. I think we're averaging about 2,000 hotel rooms per pageant. That number will just continue to increase as the popularity of the pageant in Lakeland increases. And with those 2,000 hotel rooms comes an awful lot of family and friends who support the pageant contestants, and they eat in our restaurants, they drink in our bars, they buy our food, they shop, they enjoy our town and our community. So it's been fantastic having them here for the 2 years so far. Sarah's been an outstanding representation of the pageant and is living here in Polk County and Lakeland and slowly integrating into the lifestyle that we enjoy here.
Very nice. And it's important to note, this is in July, when usually things are pretty quiet in hotel rooms in Florida.
I think last year's pageant was July 1st.
Yes, was the final date. So this year's pageant will be June 24th to June 30th.
So leading up to July 4th, and
Nice.
you know, as a lot of times you can tell, this is a ghost town around, you know, Polk County during the 4th of July. And so what we're trying to do is build participation of the audience to come out and support the program. It's a wonderful program, and that's what I've been trying to do along with Sarah. Is we're working hard to make the program bigger and better and to fill up the audience. I think we had close to 2,000 people last year in the audience at the Mahaffey Theater and RP Funding Center.
Nice. Now, the Miss Florida pageant is a scholarship pageant. Does that have something to do with your support as well?
Absolutely. Economic development and economic driver was my first initiation into this, because I was not a pageant person. My daughter did athletics and we did not do pageants, so I didn't really know a whole lot about it. But getting to know Courtney from last year, Sarah from this year, two incredible representatives of the pageant world. They do fantastic work charity-wise, and they're outstanding representatives of the community and of the pageant itself.
Terrific. Now, Sarah, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. For people who don't know a whole lot about pageants, describe, if you will, for us the competition. What sort of events do you participate in?
Yes, so the Miss America organization and Miss Florida pageant, we have 5 phases of competition, and there's the interview. It's a 10-minute press-style conference interview with about 5 judges that can ask you absolutely anything. Then there's the lifestyle and fitness competition, the evening gown competition, an onstage question, and talent. And that's obviously my favorite one, as I've been a pianist since I was 5 years old. But the whole pageant is all about empowering women and giving women the chance to achieve their scholastic dreams.
Very good. Now, when I looked up some of your information, it said that your platform was Music Matters. What is a platform? What does that mean?
Yes, so that's one of the components to be eligible for being in the Miss Florida pageant. And you write a platform statement, and it's basically a service project, anything that you care really deeply about. And music has been a part of my life for so long that I wanted to give back in that way. So I go into schools and talk about the importance of music and try to help schools that don't have the resources find the funds and the resources to have music in their classrooms.
Nice. Now, we know that when budget cuts are discussed, arts programs are usually discussed
First to
along
go.
with that. So let me ask you a question. If you have been receiving music instruction since you were 5, what are the tangible benefits that you've seen from that, and has music opened any doors for you?
Absolutely. Music has changed my entire course of life. It helped me become the performer I am, the spokesperson that I am. It gave me so many opportunities to be in front of people. So now I have more confidence than I ever did. I have no problem getting up in front of people, and I've learned so much from it.
Nice. Now, your degree is in education?
Yes, music education. I'm a certified music teacher in the state of Florida.
Very nice. Now, we've talked about what years of musical instruction can do. Have you seen anything when you're teaching kids that it is an immediate response, an aha moment for kids?
Yes, absolutely, all the time. And of course, it's fun. Music is absolutely, the most enjoyable thing. There's no kid that doesn't love music. And I think that's great to have in the school curriculum, something that the kids can get away to, have a little more exploration. They get to use their imagination, they get to use their creativity. And while they may not know it, but they're actually learning so much more and working on their math and reading skills as well.
Very nice. Now, PGTV was out and about this weekend, and we saw both of you at a Florida Tropics game.
Absolutely.
Indoor soccer game. What were you doing there?
Well, I am their new sideline reporter / MC, and they asked me to do it this year, and at first I said, I don't know anything about indoor soccer, but I'll do it. And it's been a great partnership. I love getting the crowd excited, and I think it'll bring more people to the Florida Tropics games as well as the Miss Florida pageant.
Nice. And I mean, the game, we were there, the game is nice,
so
family
exciting,
entertainment.
yeah.
Absolutely. It's very wholesome entertainment. It's fast-paced. There's nothing boring about it. There's music playing. There's Miss Florida walking the sidelines, interviewing people on the down on the floor. And what I found interesting is it was a 10-9 game. So there was plenty of scoring. There was 2 goals against the Tropics within 1 minute, which was down there where we were sitting. And a lot of times soccer, hey, it's a great match, it was 1-0. Well, as a non-soccer person, that's fairly boring. But when you see 19 goals in 4 15-minute quarters, that is action, that is fast-paced. There's kids there, there's adults there, there's people that are really good soccer players that are there, appreciated, and it is a high-quality game, high-quality form of entertainment for us.
It was. When we first got there was hardly anyone there. We were a little concerned. Boy, those stands filled up.
Oh yeah, they fill up.
And everybody had a good time. They really did.
It's an inexpensive evening. I think one single game tickets, you can get them for like $10 a piece. So it's not an inexpensive evening to take your family to. Concessions, they've got hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, the usual fare.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of fun, and you can see that coming out in Sarah, and in her enthusiasm that she brings to the job, and her enthusiasm then feeds into the crowd.
Definitely, definitely. Now, that's one of the things you've been able to do since becoming Miss Florida. What are some of the other really cool things that you're doing?
Yes, that is definitely one of my favorites. It's just so much fun and so exciting. But my other obligations as Miss Florida are to be the spokesperson for the Everglades Foundation and Advanced Recovery Systems. And with both of those, I go into schools and talk about the importance of the Everglades and about a presentation called Real Talk. And it's a drugs and alcohol education program to help teach kids what they need to know and how to prevent drug abuse. So both of those are very important. They give so much information and education to the students, and it's very empowering for them.
Very nice. Now, you're living in Lakeland right now?
Yes. We've got a sponsored apartment on South Florida Avenue. It's beautiful, and I'm so happy to be in Polk County and be able to serve so many people in this community.
And that was one of the things that Mary Sullivan, the executive director, wanted to bring back, was have Miss Florida work out of Lakeland as the headquarters. One, it's in the middle of the state, so it makes her travel easier. It's not easy, but it's easier. And she's in the local community here to do Florida Tropics games, to do ribbon cuttings, to do groundbreakings, to do MC programs. It's just a phenomenal asset that we have in the county that people don't really realize.
Now, if someone would like to book you for an event or as an MC or something, how do they go about that?
Well, if they are with me, they can reach out to me, they can reach out to Todd, and my executive director, Mary Sullivan. She handles all of my bookings and, takes care of my calendar.
Takes care of your calendar.
Yes, she does. She schedules everything. It's very busy.
That's good, though. I mean, having somebody to look out for you and to make sure you are where you need to be and you're not double booked or anything, that's nice.
Well, it does make it easier on Sarah to not have to make her own calendar, and there's different events that Mary may want her to go to or other members of the board may want her to go to. So it takes the responsibility out of her hands. All she's got to do is plug in the number in her GPS and
I'm there.
She's there. So between her computer and her calendar and her GPS, she doesn't really have a whole lot of control over life anymore.
Yep. I think I've racked up about 10,000 miles on my car so far in the past 6 months.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
We've got 6 more months to go.
6 more months to go before the next
Yes,
pageant?
I'm halfway through, so
wow.
I mean, it's been an absolutely incredible experience so far. I can't wait to just do as much as I can in my last 6 months. And
how does it feel? Does it feel like the first 6 months went by really, really
so
fast?
quickly,
Yeah.
so quickly. It was, you know, I won, and then Miss America, and then I moved to Polk County. It's been one whirlwind after another.
Now, in and around Polk County, what are some of your favorite places? Well, let me back up. What did you expect when you came in? Did you have any idea what Polk County or Lakeland were
Well, I
like?
had competed in the Miss Florida pageant for those 2 years that we have been here, so I got to experience a little bit of it. We have one day where we have all the contestants go out downtown and, you know, just kind of set up shop in all the different shops and greet people, and I had the opportunity to stay at a couple places. One of them was the Bella Visage, their spa, and I go there all the time now, and I've been able to make a lot of friends in Polk County.
Nice, very nice. Well, Commissioner, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
We are just very fortunate to have Sarah in the pageant. It was a great coup for us. They came from St. Pete. They signed a 5-year contract with us. We're 2 years into the 5 years. It is incumbent upon Polk County and Lakeland to give even more support than we are. And by that, I mean putting fannies in the audience for watching the pageant. It's a fantastic show. I think a lady comes in and helps with the stage that is from New York.
Yes, Shay Sullivan.
Yes.
She's a big choreographer up in New York, and
Oh,
she's
wow.
Mary Sullivan's daughter, and she sets up an amazing show every
Right.
year. There's dancing, and then of course all the girls' different talents, get to see them in evening wear, swimsuit, and get to answer an offstage question. It's all very, very exciting.
And
you're-
it's professionally produced too
Yes.
by a gentleman out of West Monroe, Louisiana. He brings in the equipment, and so it is a professional live
It's a show.
For the audience, and there's nothing boring about it. I've luckily been able to go on stage the last couple years welcoming the pageant to Lakeland and Polk County. And you know, they start the pageant right after I finish, and so to get off stage, you walk around back, the girls are all laughing and giggling. Even those that didn't go into the next round, they're all very supportive of each other.
It's definitely a sisterhood.
It was a very positive environment. I couldn't be happier to be part of it.
So you support the pageant, and what you get in return is a fabulous night's worth of entertainment.
Absolutely.
That sounds like a good
Yeah.
It does. It does.
deal. Well, very good. It's been a pleasure to have
Thank you.
both of you here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Don't go away. The second half of our show will be up right after this message. We'll meet Commissioner Melony Bell and learn about the health benefits and quality of life benefits you can get for traveling the trails here in Polk County.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty when no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
I love you.
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
I know, but if I don't hit any lights or get stuck behind a train, I'll make it.
This is my Nana.
This is my husband.
This is my mom.
Everyone matters to someone.
Pledge to slow down and drive safely. Polk County has over 90 trails that cover over 250 miles. These beautiful trails provide opportunities for walking, jogging, hiking, cycling, and horseback riding. Commissioner Melony Bell and Transportation Planning Administrator Ryan Kordek are two of the county's biggest trail advocates, and they join us today to talk about the health, quality of life, and fiscal benefits of trails. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bell, you enjoy trails on a regular basis, don't you?
I do. I love it. I try to get on my bike at least 3 times a week. I leave it here in Bartow and try to ride about 60 miles a week. But what I love about it is I don't like going to a gym, if the weather's beautiful. And to be out there on the trails and see the benefits that it has, not only just getting fresh air and exercise, but the quality of life issue for families of Polk County, being able to enjoy, the natural outdoors.
Very nice. Now, this is something you do on a regular basis. What would you suggest to somebody like me who would like to start to use the trails? How do you start? Because 60 miles is pretty overwhelming.
Well, I would say you're not moving on a sofa, so buy you a bike, doesn't have to be an expensive bike, and just start leisurely riding out on the trails. And you see so much, beauty out there of natural live animals and all. It's just really neat to be out there. But just, you have to start somewhere. And that's how I started. I started with a couple of friends, and now I've become, a bike advocate of loving to ride.
Nice. Now, they say quality of life issues. One of the core of the quality of life is the social benefit of it, and there are bike clubs out there. All kinds of people get together to use the trails in Polk County.
They meet. You'll see them regular. If you see a whole pack coming, it's usually a bike club. Saturday mornings, they have rides on the Fort Fraser Trail. I see, on early Saturday mornings, or a couple of days during the week, they're out on our trails using it.
So it's not just families. I mean, it's a good way for single people to meet.
Absolutely.
People. Very nice. Ryan, you're part of the Polk Transportation Planning Organization, and you plan a lot of the trails. What goes into that?
Well, we have I think a very aggressive trail plan in Polk. We try to, when we're doing trail planning, come up with potential trails that not just connect the environmental lands or conservation lands, but try to connect things like all the great parks that we have in Polk County, as well as our cities, and connect the cities and neighborhoods themselves. So right now we have about 8 or I believe it's 9 cities in Polk have trails or are connected by big trails, regional multi-use trails like the Fort Fraser Trail. And we have a plan that ultimately will connect all of Polk County, all the major areas, not just the cities, but places like the Green Swamp, the Lake Wales Ridge, a lot of our lakes like we have in the Winter Haven area, all together. So hopefully at some point in the future, you'll be able to travel all throughout Polk and even outside of Polk on a trail if you were so inclined.
So if you have a bike, you don't necessarily have to put your bike in your car and drive half an hour to get to a trail. You're pretty close to one, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Right now, in 2018, about 73% of the population of Polk County is within 5 miles of a major multi-use trail like the Fort Fraser, the Chain of Lakes Trail, or the Van Fleet Trail. Again, our goal would provide a lot more access to people, and you're right, with a lot of people that they may drive, and you can certainly do that, and we have a lot of good trailheads around the county to be able to access the network of trails. It would be great if people could, just leave their house, go from their door or garage door to the trail on a bike, or take a short walk and be able to access one of these areas. Yeah.
Now, I've looked on the Polk TPO's website, and there's a trail map there.
Yes, you can go to www.polktpo.com and see this map and see kind of what I'm talking about in terms of the county-wide access that's ultimately planned for trails.
Now, what are some of the newer trails?
Well, some of the newer ones, Fort Fraser's been around for a little while, but we're getting more trails in the Winter Haven area, in particular the Chain of Lakes Trail, the Lake Alfred Trail, and not just those 2 trails, but the connections that we have now between them. You may have noticed if you've been on Avenue T or State Road 544 recently, or US 1792 going into Lake Alfred, there are 2 new trail bridges now that provide access between the trails, and now you got a a place to cross that's safe. You're not having to cross an at-grade intersection of a busy road. You can go up and over, and if nothing else, at the top of those bridges there's a great view. You can see several lakes off in the distance, and it's just a neat place to go.
Nice. Now, Commissioner Bell, some people who don't utilize trails might think to themselves, well, that's my tax money that's going towards building these trails. What are some of the economic aspects of trails that they might not be thinking about?
That's a great question. The economic impact that it has on Polk County is, I don't even know the dollar signs on it. I couldn't put a dollar sign on it. But you know, if you think about, there's a family that's going to come in and look at our trails. They've looked at the maps, and they come over from another county. So they're tourism, we would think. And so they come in and they bring their bikes. So they're going to hop on one of our trails. They're going to maybe start in Lakeland and come through Bartow and maybe stop for lunch, maybe shop at our local stores. The economic benefit that it has is just twofold. But not only just economic, but also health. You know, Polk County is rated 9th in the country for obesity. And so if we can get more people out, not just riding on a bicycle, but you can also walk these trails. And it's a quality of life issue for everybody to get together, like you said earlier, you know, socially, to meet on the trail. And you know, people were talking about Lake Hollingsworth earlier, you know, everybody, the neighborhood's meeting down and before they, you know, start their riding. You know, it's a meeting place.
Yeah, and there are specific health benefits to getting out in the sunshine, in nature, and enjoying yourself. A lot of people don't go to the gym because it's just a square box that's kind of boring. If you were to go out onto a trail, you could bring a camera, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
and the wildlife is unbelievable what you see there.
So what are some of the new projects? What's coming soon to Polk County?
Yeah, I think a really exciting project that's been planned for a number of years, but you can actually hike or bike a portion of it today, and that's the Panther Point Trail, kind of in central Polk County. It's a trail along the east and southeast shore of Lake Hancock, one of the largest lakes in Polk County. And the trailhead currently for that project is in the Marshall-Hampton Preserve, just off of Thornhill Road, right off of Winter Lake Road and the Polk Parkway, kind of that area. And that right now is a 5-mile unpaved trail that you can, you know, bike on. You can certainly hike, you know, walk, run, whatever you'd like to do. But the plans are to later this year provide a connection from that trail all the way around the south shore of Lake Hancock to connect to the Fort Fraser Trail. It'd be upwards of an 8-mile trail one way then. And I've been on the trail myself. If you haven't been on it, it's one of the more, I think, striking trails from a landscape standpoint. The views through the cypress trees along the shore, looking across upwards of 2 miles of open water. It's unlike a lot of things in Polk County, so it almost reminds me of being in the Florida Keys, frankly, because you've got so much water east and west of you, and you're on a narrow strip of land going between these water bodies for upwards of 2 or 3 miles. So it's unlike anything else we really have in Polk County. And that trail, the second part that I talked about, that second part, it'll be under construction later this year, and it's planned to open roughly fall of 2018. It'll be open.
Okay. I mean, at 8 miles, that's a day trip. Pack a lunch. That sounds beautiful.
And that will bring more tourism in. If they know that they have more miles of trail riding, it will bring visitors over to Polk County to ride the trails. And I was going to say earlier, we are building amongst the trail. If you look down there, you know, if a business comes in, there's bike stores that have come in, restaurants along Fort Fraser Trail that people want to locate their business because of the economic value they would have.
Well, Commissioner Bell, Ryan, thank you both for coming out, and hope to see you both on the trails.
Good for you.
Thank you.
The Polk County Parks and Natural Resources Division has a great website full of useful information on where to go and how to prepare and best enjoy the parks and trails in Polk County. To find out more, visit www.polknature.com or visit the Polk TPO's website at www.polktpo.com for a map of the trails in Polk County.
Cycling in Polk County is a strong market, strong activity. It's a strong community, and that's something that's very social. It's something that's obviously very healthy. So we have a very vibrant community with a lot of excellent facilities to ride, whether it's road riding or casual riding or mountain bike riding. Polk County really kind of offers all of what we need.
There's always a road ride going on, it seems like. We have plenty of trails.
Of course, perfect weather too.
Carter Road Park, Lois Hart Park has about 13 miles of trail roughly. New trails being built all the time. Obviously county-owned park. A lot of avid riders out here, a lot of beginner riders out here. We're lucky to have it. Great place to come to. Dog park, kids parks, baseball fields, softball fields, soccer fields, and with more coming. Great place to be. Definitely would need a mountain bike or an off-road type bike with fatter tires. It does get sandy, you get leafy. You need as much traction as possible and control. Beginner riders, of course, we gladly bring them out and show them the ropes.
Lois Hart Park, it's a wonderful place for mountain bikers. Circle B and a Circle B Bar Reserve and the new Panther Trail, and that gives casual riders a nice place to go off-road. Neat things with those is the variety of wildlife that you'll see, whether it's birds, alligators aplenty, and even some bobcats and some more exotic wildlife just right here in our backyards.
Probably more road biking than mountain biking, but seems like there's always an event or a group ride going on almost on a daily basis. We do a First Monday recovery ride, we call it, every month, where we ride around Lake Morton 6 or 7 times. Very, very casual pace, everybody sticks together, not fast. Then we go back to the shop for food and drinks, or we go downtown for food and drinks. We have the last Wednesday of the month, we have a women-only ride, which they decide where to go, and they ride for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then usually come back to the shop for snacks. There's group rides, group mountain bike rides. We get together, and no schedule, just when everybody can.
We have facilities like the Van Fleet Trail, the Tico Trail, the Fort Fraser Trail. Those are also very well utilized and very attractive.
Obviously a lot of bike paths around town. Lakeland's a bike-friendly city.
For those that enjoy riding our regular highways, we have a lot of rural roads that are in wonderful shape and low traffic, and so it's very easy to get as little or as many miles as you want. So if you wanted to get go do a 100-mile ride, you can do that very easily. Whether it's the south side of the county or the north side of the county, we have a lot of wonderful, well-maintained and wide, perfect roads for road cycling.